Okay, traders, Mike here with the watch list video for, I can't believe it, Friday already, April 19th. SPY has put in what, five red days in a row, slightly below the maybe important psychologically 500 number. But anyway, certainly seeing some cracks in the dam as I've been saying. I made another video today. I'm trying to make at least one every day around lunch with some trading education to it. So today I covered um, a setup that I called in chat in INDO. It was on the Bounce Play watch list. You watch the video, you get to see the setup and why I called it. And then also a setup in BPTH, and I think a pretty good lesson about algos when it comes to BPTH later, where a lot of people got their asses handed to them. So hopefully you'll learn something to look for to stay out of trouble in those crazy, huge volume algo-driven ones, right? And then as far as today in chat, uh, another one I called THCH, which was on the Gap Play watch list. And let's go to 5-minute candles. Let me get pre-market off of here. And then just real quick, I called an inside fives on this one. So this was the opening candle, then it put an inside and another inside. The long idea is, the first time it breaks a previous fives candle, which over this one was 126. So 127 was the trigger, and it went to 144 over the next 10 or 15 minutes. Decent day trading money for anyone that took it. What else? BNTC. Bear with me. BNTC. I mentioned this late in the day, over 625. So it had this crazy move today that I also gave an idea over 6 right here. It went pretty quickly to 652. And then all the way, it actually did this whoosh down, right? Which was crazy. So then later in the day, I noticed that it topped at 625 and 625 again with the earlier high not far above at 652. I gave the 625 idea, which triggered right there, 625 break, I should say, and it went pretty quickly to 742. Got a lot of thank yous in chat for that one. A lot of this had to do with the time of day, too. Later in the day, when something triggers like that, you're more apt to get the squeeze because shorts are in trouble by, they're running out of a trading day, if you will, right? In the other video, I already talked about INDO, but I did call that long right there over 4, and we got a really nice quick move. Called that one over the mic. XPON. Late in the day, I gave the 620. I'm sorry, let me try that again. The 325 break because it had hit 325 here, and then again here. And so you kind of had this cup and handle forming. And so it was a late day trade, but over 325 went to 349. No big deal, but still worked, and some people made some money in that one too. So there's some highlights from the trading day. Let me slide this over. I know most of you know this, but if you don't, if you've never seen this, pause the video and read it. Just talks about us being day traders, and we focus on in-play stocks, and then we trade them on an intraday basis, right? So let's talk about what we're going to look at tomorrow to hopefully catch some trades in. And so BNTC is one of them. We had that breakout today. I already talked about trade I called in it. XPON, talked about that one too. Big day today, maybe a follow-through day tomorrow. We'll see if we get an A+ setup. DJT, big pop there. I missed a late day trading that. I was so mad at myself. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, really strong, but at the same time, ugly daily. Certainly in play the last couple days, so I'll keep it on a chart, but I feel like it needs to rest at this point. ZUO, big pop yesterday. Quiet inside day today, looking for a possible third day play. Reddit doesn't really have any kind of clean setup, but it had a big day today, right? If you look at the low and the high, it went from 37.35 to 42.13. That's pretty good range for this one. So maybe that has a follow-through day tomorrow. That's RDDT. CUTR is still just kind of doing this little flag right here. I'm not in love with it because the longer-term chart's kind of ugly, but I'm going to throw it on a chart. GCT, I'll put the horizontal line at the recent high right there. It did take that out briefly today before pulling back, but I'm going to keep it on a chart. Maybe it makes another attempt at an upside break. Not in love with it. HUMA, nice pop today. We'll look for a follow-through day tomorrow. I'm putting Apple back on watch. Yes, it did kind of break below recent lows. As far as recent, I mean here. But then if you go back to here, which was what, October 26th, it might, it bounced really nicely. From there, look, it was just straight up. So that could be an interesting level. A lot of times you'll see a stock take out that level and then reverse. So I am keeping it on bounce watch. I don't think the daily's pretty, but it's also 4 days in a row down, and it's Apple, right? So it could certainly catch a bounce. BJ is BJ's wholesale clubs, like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 days in a row down. Just looking for an oversold bounce there. Root, strongest stock in the whole wide world back here, and now it's starting to kind of roll over and maybe even get a little bit of downside shape here. So that one actually, I know a lot of people look at that and say, what the hell's he talking about? But that's got that little shape change that I look for. We could get a nice snapback bounce, only with a proper setup, obviously. I'm putting rent back on watch. I did catch a trade, and some of you caught it with me. I called it on 30s today, which gave you a nice cushion if you took the 12 break also that I mentioned, right? Then you had an entry from the, I don't know, it was like 1120 something, I think, the 30s, and then you got to add through 12. But anyway, then it ended up closing red, so I'm putting it, and it did hit the 20-day today, putting it right back on the bounce play list for tomorrow. And then lastly, ZCMD, which nothing really interesting here, closed at $1.45, but in after hours, it's trading at 262 and went as high as 361. So anyway, 264-ish right now. So certainly, if it's still gapping in the morning, that could be added to our gap play list, and we'll add others together in the pre-market as well. I'll see a chunk of you between 6:30 and 7 because I'm starting to experiment trading between these 7 and 8 hours now that I have a broker that I can do that. All right, I'm done babbling. We'll see you in chat.